Both runners should be off here in just a second. And we're going. So here it is.
Alright. So this is Pit Percent, the grand finals of the tournament. We're going to be watching PTL versus TeddyTank. They're both very consistent runners. And yeah, let's get right into it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So, first off, for anyone who hasn't seen it before, this is the prologue section. It's very long, and all of it pretty much just consists of text mashing until you get to the flipside tower. So, basically, there's like a 3-minute introduction here of just pressing 1 and 2 very fast.
So we're going to see a difference in routes right away when we enter 1-2, which is the second level of the game. That's when you can shop or you cannot shop, which we might see. But you can buy items there. And each runner will probably buy their own types of items. We'll see, though.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of route differences. I've watched a lot of Teddy and PTL all throughout the tournament, and I think I've seen both of them go for the shop and not go for the shop. So it's really like they all have different strategies, and of course a lot of it depends on, some of it depends on the coin RNG that you get in 1-1, but we'll see what both runners decide to do when they get there. So, right now, again, it's just the prologue. This is a bunch of text mashing, but to talk a little bit about the Pit Percent run as it is, it's quite different and a lot faster than any percent. This run is only about an hour and a half compared to any percent, which is around 4 hours. We actually only complete Chapter 1, and then we enter Chapter 2 and immediately exit to go back to the pit. So, we really only get 2 pixels in the run, and we're entering the pit quite early. It's almost as soon as we possibly can. So there's a bunch of stuff in means of leveling up all throughout the run. We're going to do a couple grinds here in Chapter 1, which will help us up our level quite a bit.
So about half the run is going to be outside of the pit, preparing for it, and about half of the run will be the actual pit. Personally, I find both to be just as interesting. You might think, oh, it might be cooler to start when entering the pit. But the pre-pit preparation is actually a very cool part of the run because there's a lot of strategy that goes into it as well. Mostly just in what items you buy, if you buy items at all. And it kind of introduces another skill of if you don't need the items, you can skip them and save time. Which will probably not be happening in this race because it would be too risky to go into the pit without any healing items.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, in normal pit runs that you'd see Teddy do or a bunch of other top Pit Percent runners, they may opt to not go for healing items, which for that category might be a smart choice if you're going very fast, but it can also be very risky, and especially when you're in a tournament setting like this, the last thing you want to do is game over. So most runners that have ran in the tournament opt to take it safe, at least to some extent. Some runners take it more safe than others, but it's really up to a runner preference. But we actually just received the first pure heart, and as you saw on Teddy's screen, instead of taking the elevator down, we can actually just jump off the left edge and land right next to the pillar, and that actually saves a decent amount of time.
Yeah, actually, in real attempts, I think it's actually better to buy healing items now because of doing GBS. You enter the shop anyways, and it's not even that long to go buy a healing item, and that will save you time later, guaranteed.
That is true. So, another thing to mention with pit runs is that GBS is being implemented now with many runs. It won't be shown off today because both runners are on the English copy. Currently, the JP Wii U version is the only version that the runners are able to do GBS. It can be done on English, but unfortunately this version of English is 1.2. You need 1.0, so lots of exciting stuff with the new truth.
So the reason that they're playing on Wii U is because they get to play a digital RAN version, and that speeds up the loading times a lot, especially for a run where you enter 100 doors.
That's true. But right here, actually, so Teddy just got it, PTL's about to, but both runners will receive a return pipe. That'll be used a few times throughout the run, but its purpose is to bring Mario back to the Flipside Tower at any point in the game. There are some areas where it can't be used, like boss fights or other stuff to that extent, but it's very useful in this run to save time and save backtracking, so it's a pretty useful item.
So they finally entered Chapter 1 after all the tech smashing for more tech smashing.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, early game, there's not too much going on. The action basically starts right after we get the flip ability, because that's when coin planning, point planning, and just all the routing stuff starts happening.
Yeah, before this point, it's mostly just tech smashing and maneuvering your way through a few areas. But coming up here is 1-1. So this is the first. I should mention that every chapter sort of has 4 sub-chapters, if you want to call them that. But this is 1-1. There's quite a few important things here after we get the flip ability, but the only thing to mention here before that happens really is both runners are going to pick up 1 coin from a coin block, and that actually saves time in Bestovius' text.
So the run basically kind of picks up for a few minutes, and then it slows down, and then it picks up again after we enter the pit. So there's about 5 minutes of gameplay, which is just going to be completely different based on runners, because they might want to shop, they might want to not shop. So you'll see when they get to the 1-1 or the 1-2 shop what they're actually going to be picking up. Each item that they use or that they buy will be useful in their own way. So there's no definitive best thing to buy at the shop. Although we have our own very strong opinions on what the best to buy.
Yeah, that's for sure. So right now, both runners are talking to Bestovius, and Bestovius, as we've mentioned before, will give Mario the flipping ability. Mario is the only character in this game that can flip into 3D, so he will be utilized a lot, especially in the pit, because when you flip into 3D in the pit, there's no platforms to stand on. You just fall straight to the ground, and it brings in a lot of strategy into the pit. We will be getting another character, but Peach will not be used as much as Mario will. So both runners, I should actually mention this, they're going to pick up 3 items in Bestovius' house by flipping. They'll pick up a Shell Shock, which will be used most likely in Room 89. They'll pick up a Shroom Shake for good measure. A Shroom Shake gives you 10 HP, and then the Fire Burst will likely be used in Pre-Chapter 2.
So in this next room, Teddy is going to kick a shell just to get 2,900 points. Sometimes it can drop a healing item, so it's very worth doing for this category. Doesn't look like he got a healing item there. We'll see about PTL.
Nah, neither runners did there, unfortunately. But yeah, like Zach said, there's a bunch of possibilities for item drops. Both runners actually opt to not do the coin block grind. So both runners actually have the same amount of coins, 11 coins, which is pretty neat. But coming up right here is the squig grind, or the squiglet grind. Teddy's having a good one so far, but this is basically a very important grind section for this category. You want to get as leveled up as you possibly can to help with the pit. And basically that means jumping on all these enemies consecutively and not touching the ground. Teddy had a great grind there, he's at 35k.
Not only did he have a great grind, he got a fire burst.
Yeah, that is true. So you get a bunch of item drops. PTL actually got a Shroom Shake, but unfortunately it's too early and he
Can't get it, yeah.
wasn't able to get it. So, but he's having a good grind here too. So he as well will have about, yeah, he's gonna have about like 33k, just a little short of that. So both runners are set with their level for now. But that level grind right there is actually very important. We want to get to 60k before room 25, and if you don't do that grind, it's very difficult to get to 60k without going out of your way to do a couple other things and kill a bunch of enemies.
So it looks like Teddy Tank has a fire burst for room 21. It saves a few seconds there. It's not really something that's super useful, but he has one, so he might opt to skip the shop. We'll see, though, because I know he does sometimes buy fire bursts in the shop, so we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, he's got.
If I were to make a prediction, Teddy is going to skip the shop, and PTL is going to buy 2 healing items and a fire burst.
Predictions coming out here. So Teddy's got 19 coins. We'll see what he does, but yeah, this is 1-2. The first half of this level is not too crazy. It's mostly just skipping a bunch of things and getting to Yold Town. And then when we get to Yold Town, there's actually a couple tricks that can be utilized in any percent, as well as pit percent, but I don't believe either runners will be going for LSJ here. I would highly doubt it, so...
yeah, it's probably like not faster at this point because they're super high on HP.
Yeah, as well as the fact they don't have anywhere close to enough coins to buy a life shroom, but...
Yeah, like they don't do it in any percent, so I would not see them
I
in
doubt
this
it.
category.
I doubt it, yeah. So, regardless though, I will talk about both of those tricks. We mentioned GBS earlier. Initially, before GBS was implemented RTA, we did a trick called Life Shroom Jump, where we would spend 50 coins on a Life Shroom, basically die in midair and hit a 1 frame to get across a gap, and that saved about like 1:45 to 2 minutes. And GBS was found where we could do that same trick, but without a Life Shroom, and it's basically where we maneuver along a seam, we clip out of bounds in a shop. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. It's a really cool trick and pretty precise, but like I said, neither runner will be going for it here. It's still cool to mention though.
Yeah, it actually works out to be slower, but the reason that it does save time is because of routing stuff in any percent.
That is true. So Teddy actually skipped the shop. We'll still have to wait and see what PTL does here. I'd imagine he's gonna go for it. We'll see. I could be wrong.
I can't believe people are skipping the shop in a race. I felt like he would have after the fire burst, to be honest.
Yeah, it made sense for the fire burst. PTL goes in the shop.
PTL is shopping. Let's go.
So he's gonna get a fire burst.
Fire burst and a shroom shake, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. So
that's a good call. I like that.
Good strats. Commentator approved. But so both runners will be completing 1-2 normally, or as intended. So right now Teddy is talking to Thoreau right now and getting that first pixel. Thoreau is a pretty useful pixel. More than likely won't be used in the pit, but there are some areas where Thoreau can be useful. Basically, you can grab objects or grab enemies, hold them above your head, throw them. But we're more than likely going to be seeing the use of the second pixel that we get in this run, and that's Boomer. We won't be getting Boomer until Chapter 2.
Yeah, Thoreau will be used to enter the pit slightly faster. It's personal preference, but it's slightly faster and it's really cool. So hopefully one of our runners does it.
That is true. So real quick, Manta asked, what is WSS? WSS is water switch skip. It's not going to be shown off in this run, but basically in Chapter 7-1, you basically skip the whole water puzzle by clipping out of bounds 2 times. So Teddy's actually
So
a decent way ahead of PTL right now.
yeah, so there's a few things we haven't mentioned. There's a bit of speed tech in this game. I figured it'd be good to mention it during the grand finals since it might be like one of the most watched races. So there's some speed tech in this game that we usually don't cover in these races just because they're all like very similar, but every time they start movement, they're going to jump instead of just walking, and that saves about 4 frames every time you start moving. You might think it's useless, but like 4 frames every single time you start movement is a lot of time. So Teddy completes 1-2 here. At the start of 1-3, there's going to be a little grinding section. They're both going to use the fast flower. It triples your points and coins. The coins will not be useful anymore, so it's mostly just for the points.
Yeah, pass.
What they will be doing is skipping killing the ghost room. In any percent, you would usually kill it, but it just gives coins.
Teddy actually got another fire burst drop. That is really lucky. So that was the 1-3 grind right there. Basically, they picked up Pal Pills, Happy Flower, and a Fast Flower. The Fast Flower basically multiplies the amount of points that you get by 3, so it's pretty useful for a grind. You get a decent amount of points there, but more importantly, again, there's also a possibility for item drops, and Teddy once again gets another Fire Burst, which is very, very helpful. Fire Burst will be used all throughout the pit.
That's so many drops, dude.
Yeah, Teddy always gets a bunch of drops, which is really crazy. We'll see if PTL gets a few here soon. He just leveled up.
So right here will be the Chunks fight. They're going to just rack up points on Chunks by doing stylish moves. They're actually a separate type of point gaining system. Every time you do a stylish, you gain a certain amount, and then it kind of multiplies out. It doesn't like count for bouncing on the actual enemy, so all it is the stylish points. You don't get any for bouncing on Chunks at all.
That is true. But regardless of the stylish strat is a pretty good strat for most of the time if Chunks is nice to you. Okay, Teddy was able to hang on to that. You basically want to hang to that right wall and just keep stylishing, but there are other strategies to beat Chunks, and there's also a chance that he can throw you around, and that animation takes around 10 seconds.
So in this next room, there's going to be a skip called Ice Churble Skip. They're going to pick up the Ice Churble enemy and take damage while it's above their head. And what that does is it boosts the enemy up. So now that it's high up, he will be able to successfully jump off of the enemy to the higher platform.
He unfortunately wasn't able to get by.
Dude.
It was really bad luck with that platform coming back. Which can be very unfortunate, but we'll see how PTL does.
The direction that the Ice Churble decides to move is completely random, so he probably just wasn't expecting it, so... Definitely understandable, it's a pretty complicated trick.
Yeah. So, at the end of this level, all you have to do is just stand on that blue platform and press minus and 1 at the same time. It's the weirdest puzzle in the game, but it's just there. So PTL's gonna go for ICS as well.
Let's hope he gets it here so he can catch up.
And
that was
he
very
does.
nice.
That's good. So yeah, both runners are... well, PTL's just wrapping up 1-3 currently, and Teddy is heading into 1-4. So 1-4 is very, I want to say linear, but basically... you enter each room and there's sort of like a key or an objective that you need to finish, like a key to collect to go to the next room. There's a lot of that in 1-4, but there is kind coming up here in a few rooms, both runners will be going for this, and I know because they both practiced for this right before the stream started, but there's a new trick called, well, I shouldn't say new anymore, it's been out for like almost a year. Yeah, but it's called Key Early, and we're basically skipping hitting a switch in another room, and it actually saves around, I believe, 25 seconds, if that's accurate, I don't know, but...
Yeah, about 20, something like that.
Okay. But yeah, so Teddy's going to be going for it in this next room, but it basically consists of clipping out of bounds, landing back on the quicksand, and then maneuvering yourself to the seam in 3D, and you can walk behind blocks to grab a key that's already spawned in. Teddy gets it first try.
So that was really nice. So how it works is when you flip while you're far out of bounds in a room.
Oh no! He got the clip out of bounds, but he fell out.
Oh no, dude. But yeah, how it works is when you flip on the edge of a room, on like inside the wall, there's basically some sort of collision check that doesn't happen out of bounds for certain blocks. The question mark blocks you can actually stand on, but not the like brick blocks, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
fortunately, so that you could walk through and
yeah,
get
that is true. So PTL actually just caught up so much insane. Right there. Teddy unfortunately messed up the clip a few more times. It's a really tricky thing to get down consistently, but when you do, it saves a lot of time, and PTL actually caught right back up there, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, so for a majority of the rest of this level until we get to the very end, just like I said before, it's mostly just entering a room, getting a key, or hitting a switch, and then you complete the room. So there's not much to... Oh my god, Teddy just got a ladder jump. Cool stuff. We'll see if PTL gets it. If we can get 2 in one run.
Taskvideos.org.
This video has been tasked by TeddyTank7. We'll see if PTL gets it.
The ladder of doom.
Nah, PTL didn't get it. It's alright.
Dude, I remember watching the old highlight reel, and that's what I said when both, I think it was Teddy and PTL, got to the ladder, and they both started messing it up.
Yeah, that's what that ladder is referred to as now. Just the ladder of doom. So... And speaking of that, we're also going to have another highlight reel for this tournament, which will be coming out probably, I'd say, 2 weeks from now, I would say. That'd be a good guess. And if there's any good clips from this race in particular, you can go to our Discord. I'll link it here. So there's 2 Discord. If you go in the tournament Discord, there's a place for clips if you have any good clips.
So right here, we're getting to the Fractale fight, or we're getting to the cutscenes before the fight, but this fight is very straightforward and very not straightforward at the same time. So if you wanted to do it and just take like a decent fight, you can do it so easily. But there is a lot of actually complicated strats that go into it. It's actually a really hard fight to do well, I would say. But it's also really easy to do, like, decently. So if they risk doing a bit harder strats, they could potentially fall off Fractale. It's not as hard, though. Or it's not that bad, though, I meant. So what they're both going to be doing is they'll be flipping when Fractale goes off screen, and that's kind of like the cue to know that you will be able to damage boost onto Fractale. It just saves like a few seconds, so you'll see that here. So once we get onto Fractale, we're going to have to hit him 3 times on the antenna, and then he will do like some sort of circle animation, and you can jump back onto him. I believe it's intended. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So that's kind of the premise of the fight, but there's a lot more to it. Teddy so far having a pretty good fight. So yeah, what you do is you throw 3 at him and then pick 1 up, and then you do a jump back onto him, basically. There will be basically the same boss later, but harder. Instead of hitting him 3 times, you'll hit him 10 times. What runners may do, which I think Teddy will do if he gets more fire bursts anyway, you can use a fire burst, well, 2 of them, to stun him 10 times instead of hitting him with the enemies. Welcome back to ACR.
I am back. Alright, so Teddy, I see Teddy finished before PTL did, and I think this is the last cycle for PTL.
Yeah, not too far apart.
Yeah, I'd say probably around, like, my guess is 20 seconds, but still pretty close when it's a pit run. Anything can change. So, coming up here, I mean, this is basically the end of 1.4 and Chapter 1 as it is, so we'll currently be going through the pre-Chapter 2 cutscene, which there's not too much that goes on there. It's very long and kind of a down point in the run, but after that we'll be entering 2-1, getting Boomer, and then immediately go into the pit, so things will be picking up soon. I'm gonna give a quick refresh to both runners since I haven't done that in a little bit. It's also important to mention that PTL actually started like 5 seconds after Teddy, so that's another 5 seconds that isn't accounted for, but it will be accounted for by their timers.
Yeah, we go based off of their runtime instead of like the restream time, because the restream is usually inaccurate.
Yeah.
Just because of like video delays and stuff. So this is the part I was talking about where the run kind of slows down for a little bit. There's going to be about 8 minutes of kind of just boring gameplay. There are a few things to mention here and there, though. One thing I do want to mention, though, there's a theoretical way to beat this category in, like, less than an hour, where you could potentially get the pit very, very early. It's currently being worked on by John P. and PTL, I believe. You can theoretically clip out of Flipside to like the other side of Flipside, and you can enter the pit right away from there. But currently, it's not actually faster to do that, because you'll only save a few minutes entering it then instead of with Boomer. But we have a kind of idea to skip all of 1.4, all of pre-chapter 2, all of 1.3. So the current theory route would be you just leave with Thoreau in 1.2. So if that happens, that would be very exciting.
Yeah, that's
because the category would go down like 20 minutes.
That would be a pretty crazy skip. So interesting stuff going on in the Discord. A bunch of stuff being worked out there. I guess another thing to mention. I feel like I have the need to mention this every run, but in that first room that we saw Peach in, if we were to theoretically get on top of the ledge, we can actually go down. It's the ledge on the right side. We can actually go down a pipe. And by collecting a key, we can actually sequence break the game into thinking that we're in 8-1. This would improve, or well, potentially improve this category. I feel like it would definitely be faster for Shadow. But
yeah, I feel like it'd be fun. I probably would like to try and route out the categories if that was to happen, so we would know instantly what exactly we could do.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, that would be cool. There's gonna be a use of it sometime, like, if it's possible. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way that you get to Chapter 8 and then it's just completely useless.
Yeah, but again, back to any percent. The reason we can't specifically use it for any percent is that we need a bunch of other pixels and characters that we don't have at this point in the game. We haven't really found a way to obtain them yet, or we just haven't found, you know, it's really difficult. We've worked on it in the past, but we haven't found a way to beat the game yet without hacking. So Teddy's actually back in Flipside currently. In that cutscene, we saw Peach get teleported to an unknown location. At the time when you play this game casually, you don't really know who teleports Peach, but it's actually Dementio. That's all I'll say in regards to that, but it's a pretty neat thing to point out. So, like we said, pre-Chapter 2 is kind of a downswing. There's only a couple things that you'll be seeing here. Basically, we're going to be using our prior knowledge of what we need to save a bunch of time backtracking, which normal people would do if they played this game casually. So instead of immediately following Merlin, we're actually going to go to the left and cook a fire burst, which gives us a spicy soup. So, and the reason we do that is because Peach is actually on top of Flipside, or well, she fell in Flipside. I think it's like the first floor. So we have to give the spicy soup to her to wake her up. Teddy with the sap soup. There's been like 10 instances all throughout this tournament where the commentators have called it a sap soup. I'm pretty sure 9 of those instances were from me.
So right there, you can just return pipe out of this area to get back to where Merlin and Peach are a little bit faster. There's not really too much to mention here, it's just mostly cutscenes. But soon the run will pick up. Very fortunately, it will pick up.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because this is honestly probably the biggest downswing of the run besides prologue at the very beginning. But yeah, after this next cutscene, there's not much to do here. So
it's so unfortunate that they made this such a long segment. Like, it's like one of the longest segments in any percent entering Chapter 2 from beating 1-4, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after this cutscene is over, we'll actually see some somewhat important things going on. But basically, Merlin will give us a key to enter another area of Flipside. So we'll flip in 3D and basically go back to this one pipe, and we're basically going to go to the second Pure Heart pillar and put the Chapter 2 Pure Heart in.
Yep, as soon as we can get past where this gate is, like right when we get past that gate, we have access to entering the pit. The reason we don't do it now is because it only takes a few minutes to go get Boomer from right when you have access to getting to the pit, so it's just worth it to get Boomer. It's also much less RNG based to get Boomer. Anyways, if you were able to get in there like 15 minutes into the run, which is currently being theorized, then you would save nearly 20 minutes. It technically does save time with this row, it's just not enough to be worth it. But if it saves 20 minutes, then one of the runners will do it. I bet.
Yeah, I would not doubt as soon as it's found Teddy doing attempts of it day one. So, speaking of that, actually, there's a cool little trick that Teddy's going to do here. He's going to grab the squig and throw it into this tiny hole, or do that, and you can basically jump on it, and that skips a whole section with using Peach, so...
So yeah, if they went, or if Teddy went more to the left in that room, he would be able to do something called a corner clip into where the pit is. So technically now you would think the pit is not accessible, but you can do this very fast clip to get in.
But yeah, at this point, we're finally ready to go to Chapter 2. This is the one chapter that we'll just be entering and exiting as soon as we get Boomer. There's not much else we'll be doing with the rest of the game. We're just going to go immediately to the pit after we get Boomer. Teddy pleading for an ice storm. We'll see if he gets it. I would not be shocked.
I would be very shocked. It's more likely you will not get one. Well, it's not too unlikely.
I just won't be shocked because I think like every match that Teddy's done, except for like a few, he's gotten an ice storm.
So finally entering Chapter 2. So Chapter 2 is going to have a few cool movement tricks. Our goal is just to get Boomer now, and then we will go right to the pit.
So yeah, again, like, 2-1 is very similar to 1-4 in the sense that you just enter a room, get a key, and exit. It's like that for all the rooms in this level, pretty much, but we're not going to be completing it. There is actually a trick that's done here in any percent that saves time. It's called Boomer Skip, and by using a Shell Shock, we can save a minute of going down a pipe and getting Boomer. We can complete the level early. Unfortunately, it's not faster here, plus we're going to save our Shell Shock for room 89 in the pit.
It's actually funny because you would think, oh, it should be faster if it saves a minute in any percent. Well, so in any percent, you beat 2-1, and it brings you straight to 2-2. At the start of that level, there's like a 30-second cutscene where you don't have any gameplay, basically. And so you beat the level over like a minute faster in any percent, but then in pit percent, it just works out because you return pipe out of where you get Boomer. It just doesn't save time. I actually timed it to save like a couple seconds, but that would remove your Shell Shock, which you're gonna need later.
Yeah, and then if we were to get like, if you were to somehow get a Shell Shock drop, like maybe it would be worth going for, but I don't think any runners will be going for it anytime soon.
So PTL, I think he unfortunately missed the Goomba jump, or just did the safer strat there. So it looks like Teddy has about a 30-second lead here, which will help him drastically entering the pit.
He actually got another Fireburst drop, but opted not to pick it up. It's his third this entire run, and we're not even in the pit. That's kind of crazy.
I'm not sure if he missed that, because that would save time to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He might have just not been looking.
Yeah, either he wasn't looking.
Sometimes in those rooms.
Yeah, so. But PTL actually did get a Horsetail, which is not the worst thing to get. It's a healing item, so healing items are always welcome in this run, especially.
Yeah.
So, basically, this is Boomer. To talk a little bit about him, he is second pixel that we get in the game, and he'll probably be the most, well, he's definitely the most used pixel in the pit alone. Boomer basically is a bomb that can do double damage to certain enemies, and some enemies, literally, you need Boomer to actually kill them, so Boomer's a very, very, very important important pixel to get in this run. Boomerless pit is possible and has been done, but again, like we mentioned earlier, it's just not faster. And plus, there's luck of even, you know, completing the pit without Boomer, so. But yeah, Teddy is back in flip side. PTL's not too far behind him. And both runners will be immediately heading to the pit right now, which is pretty exciting stuff. So, again, once we enter the pit, the run really picks up and everything goes by really fast. So there's a lot to talk about once we get there. But before entering the pit, there's a couple things that could be done just for style points. I don't know if we'll see either runner do the floor clip to get into the pipe. If not, they'll just use Boomer.
Come on, you at least gotta try it once for the swag.
Teddy unfortunately did not. He immediately used Boomer. We'll see if PTL does it.
No, dude. What, is he not gonna do the squiglet rock jump either?
Well, that'll be interesting. We'll see. I can't remember what Teddy does for this room. Oh, he's going for HP plus early. That is not a bad strat.
Huh.
Interesting.
Okay.
So, right behind these big brown bricks, there's actually an HP plus and a chest. And you can opt to get it for this run. He's going to. It basically increases the amount of health that you have by 5 for the rest of your gameplay. So it's somewhat useful to get, especially if you're low, but Teddy's not low. I'd imagine it's more of just a safety thing. We'll see if PTL does it. He might opt to not get it. That would save him a little bit of time. Yeah, he's just gonna go into the pit. And unfortunately, neither runner's doing the squiglet jump.
Dude, that's so sad. That makes me sad. So yeah, he did get the HP plus there. It takes about 15 seconds to get. In my opinion, it's not worth it because you can get a life shroom in 15 seconds and that would save you, at least in my opinion, that would probably help you a lot more. Because then if you like die, you don't lose the race instantly.
That is true. So now both runners are in the pit. There's a couple things to talk about with what's random and what's not random. For starters, basically each enemy, there will be one enemy in each room that has the key. You basically have to defeat enemies at random until you find the key, and that way you can go to the next room. And each enemy has a chance to drop items of some sort. There's a bunch of different item percentages that are coded to, that are specific to each enemy. We'll probably talk about a few throughout the run, because there's some enemies that drop more items than others. The entry and exit door placements are random, but there are very consistent locations, mainly because each layout of each room is always going to be the same. That's one thing that's not random. So it's common to see similar door locations for the entry.
Yeah, because what's a cool thing to know is it's most likely for the door to be on the bottom of any given room because there is always ground on the bottom, but there's not always ground on each layer of the room. So if you are at the top of a room and you have the key, it's most likely best to flip to the bottom.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on the room layout, but for most rooms, it's definitely best to just flip. So Teddy's actually having a good first 5 rooms here or so. He got a couple first keys, a couple second keys. He's already on room 7. PTL is actually using Thoreau and Boomer. That was not a bad strat, honestly.
Something else to mention is when they kill an enemy, if you finish killing the enemy with Boomer, the key instantly spawns.
That is true.
So if you kill them with a jump, it waits for the enemy to completely despawn, like it has like a sort of animation of dying. So it just works out to be faster to kill some enemies by ending with Boomer.
So yeah, oh, and then the last thing that's random is where the enemies are located in each room, so... another thing to talk about is leveling up. We already mentioned that you need to be at 60k for room 25. Both runners are far past that, but regardless though, leveling is still an important thing to keep in mind while you do this run. Basically, every time you level up, you refill on your health, so you may see some runners might get low, like low HP in certain areas, but they may opt to simply try to go for a level up instead of using a healing item. But it's all strategy. We'll see how both runners do. So actually both PTL is in room 9, I think Teddy is in room like 12 or something. So both of them having a decent pit. Okay, yeah, Teddy just entered room 12, and PTL will be in room 10 here. Another thing to mention, every 10 rooms, you basically have a chest room. Inside of the chests are just catch cards, so we're not going to be picking them up, but in each of those rooms, there's a chance of a guy named Flim spawning, and if he spawns, you can actually buy items for him. And there's a couple items that are useful to buy. If you don't get an Ice Storm drop or a Thunder Rage drop, then it's good to buy one from Flim if you can. As well, if you're just low on heals, that's another item that you can buy from Flim.
Arguably, the most useful item to buy from Flim is the Mighty Tonic. It doubles your attack, and there's two kind of areas where you would plan to use it. One is like a kind of strategy, you want to clear a room as fast as you can, and one is like if the key is in this annoying enemy, then you have the double damage to kill it fast.
So both runners...
So it looks like Teddy's about 40 seconds ahead right here, just as about an estimate.
Yeah, I'd probably guess that as well. He actually got the key, but he's gonna hit that shell for a couple more points. So they're still about like a room apart though. Teddy's in 50.
I think Teddy's actually getting a very unfortunate section here.
Yeah, so
like he's been getting a bit bad RNG.
Yeah, it's important to mention with the pit is that the pit is, I mean, like we said, there's a lot of stuff that's random, so you can get consistent like areas of really good RNG. You can get like a bunch of first keys in a row, which saves a decent amount of time in some areas. But then you could also just get really bad luck. It's really unpredictable, which makes this run fun to watch, especially in a race. So it's kind of crazy.
So yeah, a good way to know if a room is good is to look at the timer in the top right, and if you get 450 or higher, you know it was like a really fast room. If you get something like 440 or higher, it was like an average room, and if it's below 430, that means the room was kind of bad.
Yeah, it's
so
definitely...
that's kind of just like a cue I use to know.
Yeah, it's definitely a good... Like you said, it's a good cue for all runners to use. And especially for commentators to use to judge how good or bad rooms are, so... Oh, and another thing to mention with a bunch of enemies, currently you see a bunch of Koopa shells in each room. Koopa shells, if you flip in 3D, they'll hit enemies, hit like all the enemies on the floor, even if the enemies are in 2D. It's a very useful item, but it's important to mention that Buzzy Beetles will not despawn off screen. That can be used for an item, or a level grind in 51, I believe, so... it's important to mention that, but both runners now are in the same room, room 19. This is the Koopa Troll room, and ooh, PTL just barely didn't get Koopa Troll, but I think Teddy did, unfortunately. Ooh, wait.
Oh no.
Okay, no, he didn't. There was one squig up top. That's good. So you never, you never want to see that, but both runners were so close to getting Koopa Trolled there.
So it's a 1 in 5 chance to get Koopa Trolled there. There's 2 Squiglets and 2 Koopas, and then the Koopa Troll.
So in room 21 there, we mentioned it earlier, but it's optional to use a Fire Burst in that room. and PTL opted to, which saves him a lot of time here since he got a key from one of the first 3 enemies. But
Teddy not using the fire burst, and it seems like it's unfortunately holding him back a little bit, because I know he does have one. I guess he's just saving it for Racktail then. Wow,
Yeah.
PTL is in the lead by quite a bit here.
wow, I haven't. Wow, he got another like first key there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez, all right, I'll do a little a room check here. So Teddy is entering 23 while PTL's in 24. So they are one room apart, but still, I mean, anything can change at any moment, especially in the pit. So, ooh, that's a good key for PTL. He actually got a Keel Mango drop, but he's not gonna pick it up. So this is
my turn.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. This is room 25, which we were mentioning earlier. This is the room at the chain chomp. If you're not at 60k, then you can't. You more than likely won't be able to beat the chain chomp unless you have like a catch card or something. And there's a chance that the catch card doesn't work. So it's really important to level up early. I mean, obviously just for room 25, but for the rest of the pit, level ups matter quite a bit. And this room that both of them, or actually no, just PTL is on right now. This is the first Daisy room. Daisies are quite an annoying enemy to deal with all throughout the run. They will basically shoot music notes at you. If it hits you, then you'll fall asleep. This is some unfortunate RNG actually. He might get a last key here. Yeah, he will. That's really unfortunate, so.
So yeah, basically what you might see them doing in these types of rooms is jumping from pipe to pipe. We call them pipe jumps. If there's like a pipe one level above where you are, you can jump to it, so it could be useful.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, actually, that was a good key for PTL. So that room is always the same. There's just squigs on both sides of the room. It's optimal to, I mean, it's obviously optimal to get a fast key, but it's always nice to get a key on the one side of the room at the door, so it's good stuff there. On PTL's screen currently, these are Hammer Bros. Self-explanatory, they basically toss hammers towards you. They're kind of annoying, but they don't do too much damage, so they're not too difficult.
So some observation I made here is Teddy got back like all the healing items that PTL went in the shop specifically to buy. So
wow,
he kind of just saved all that time for free because of drops. It was pretty crazy.
Works out pretty well. So yeah, that's where like strategy comes in. It comes into play like in a bunch of different areas, especially when you get item drops. So Teddy's actually gonna pick up a catch card, which, oh, he's gonna use it on this Nobbit. Is it gonna work? No, it didn't. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ooh, he's down to 5 HP. Oh man.
Oh no.
So this is actually a good time to use Thoreau. If he were to pick up that enemy with Thoreau, he would actually be able to toss it on a level where he could get to it, but opts to just figure out a way to kill it, so he's all good. But he's down to 3 HP, so that's something to worry about.
PTL tried to see if Flim had something useful. I think he was looking for a Mighty Tonic, but I guess he didn't know that he doesn't have it until 50 and later, or at least that's my knowledge of it. I haven't seen it before 50.
Interesting, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he has like certain item stocks. I'm not sure if they're random at all. I honestly don't know, because I used to just blame RNG whenever the item I wanted wasn't there, because I just assumed everything was RNG. But there's a lot more to the pit than just RNG.
So,
like, one might think it's just RNG, but there's so much that can go your way if you play good.
So actually, PTL got hit by a Cursia there, and it's a very unfortunate Cursia because he has the slow the slow effect now. So he's gonna be walking really slow for the majority of this room, which loses quite a bit of time here because he doesn't have the key yet. He's gonna go in the pipe, which is not a bad strat.
Did I just jinx him there?
I think you might have, but yeah. So to talk about Cursius, because we haven't really talked about him yet, they're very easy enemies to kill with Boomer, but if you touch them, they'll curse you in some sort of way. And, you know, of course, the green ones give you a slow effect, so that's pretty unfortunate for PTL, and that allows Teddy to catch up quite a bit.
Yeah, so Teddy kind of just had a better handle of that room, and it looks like he's going to not be too far behind still, which is really nice.
Yeah, they're both in the same room currently. PTL got a Courage Shell drop. Items like that, like the Courage Shell or Turtley Leaf, all basically decrease your damage. They can be used at some parts of the run, but most runners will opt to just not pick them up because some of the items take a little while to use. Like, they have these little animations, and there's only like certain situations where lowering your or increasing your defense is useful.
Yeah, what's funny is a Turtley Leaf is so much more useful and it has no animation, so
That is true, yeah.
kind of just defeats the purpose of it. At least from a runner standpoint, maybe casually, it'd be useful.
Yeah, I don't know how long if their durations are different or something, but...
So right there, you can see these enemies kind of, they're called Kopdas, or actually, no, they're called Choppas. They can flip into 3D and back out of 3D. Teddy unfortunately got pretty trolled by them there. Very trolled by them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That actually allowed PTL to get a room ahead, I believe. Yeah, he's on 37.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He got like a really nice ninja room there.
That is true, yeah. Ooh, a stopwatch. That's kind of interesting. It's not...
I feel like they drop stopwatches all the time.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very... like, a somewhat common drop for ninjas, but... to speak about ninjas, basically, if you kill them, there's actually a chance that they turn into a bomb and respawn. They're really annoying to deal with, especially when we get to the later rooms, but... regardless, they're just pretty annoying to deal with.
Yeah, so their movement is not based on where you are or like position. It's completely random. So it feels like they can read you because they move just so randomly. You can't read them, so it just feels like they read you when you try and move around.
Teddy got the ice storm. Oh my god.
Oh my.
He was praying for it, but he finally got it. So that ice storm will probably be used in 98, I believe, for the chomps. I don't know if there's another use for it, but that's just my initial guess.
Yeah, that's like the main use for it.
So PTL is in the first clubber room. The strat for most clubber rooms, depending on what other enemies are in the room, is to kill everything but the clubbers first, if you can. So especially in this first room where there's just squiglets, it's much more optimal to try to kill the squiglets first, but...
yeah, what's unfortunate is even if you play perfectly, that room you can lose 1 minute to, even if you clear it perfectly. So it's like the first case of like, you kind of just need a first key or like an early key.
Speaking of first key, Teddy just got it, and PTL I think just got last key, so...
That is...
Teddy takes the lead there. That's very unfortunate.
The equalizer.
Yeah, that room just does it to all runners. It's brutal. Like, I remember, I think it was your race against, your last one against PTL, where you literally had last key in that clubber room and lost so much time, which is very unfortunate.
I also like how PTL made use of throw there. That was creative. Someone should clip that.
Someone should definitely clip that.
Dude, just looked so silly when he threw the club at the other one. Dude, I wonder if that's the strat.
Oh, grabbing club, it might be. I mean, if you can knock out a row
That
of...
might actually be good.
Yeah.
And Teddy is kind of pulling a lead here.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's getting a bunch of first keys back to back
This is
here.
ridiculous.
So he's gonna be a room ahead currently. We'll see how this Tyloid room goes for him. There's a bunch of Tyloid rooms in this game, but as you go later into the run, the Tyloid's room, I wouldn't say it gets more difficult. It just takes a while to kill the Tyloids as they...
Dude, this is crazy. He was like 2 minutes behind or something for a second, and then now he's like a minute ahead.
Yeah, there's that's what RNG does for this run. So they're actually in the same room currently. PTL gets a first key, so now he's in the lead. He just took the lead back.
Oh my god. What the heck, dude? That's
This
so
is nuts. I mean, okay, Teddy finally gets the key there. That was actually a really unfortunate room for him.
Yeah, he spent like nearly 2 minutes in there right after he got like a minute ahead.
PTL just got another first key. I mean, like, what's going on, dude? It's just freaking out over here.
You gotta be kidding me. So PTL takes the lead here.
That's crazy. That's another really good key for him. He got that at like 450. That's not bad. That's like a second key or something. Wow.
Yes, so the enemy locations are slightly randomized. They're not always randomized, but they're sometimes randomized. It just depends on the layout. They're not always random, though. There's some consistent enemy placements.
Ooh, PTL's down to 1 health. He's gonna have to heal. Okay, alright, he's fine. So that
Right.
those Clubba rooms can really do that to you. This is Clubbas and Magic Koopas. You basically would prefer to take damage from the body of a Magic Koopa rather than their projectile. Oh, he's down to 2 again. So you can really get comboed in this room. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, so for every 1 projectile hit, you could be taking 3 body damage hits. So you want to like maximize all the body damage you take instead of projectiles. So PTL just blew a lot of healing items here just from not really doing the best in this room, and Teddy can very, very catch up now.
Yeah, he actually got second keys, or third.
Not bad.
So yeah, that's pretty good. Ooh, he leveled up too. That's really gonna help him. So he's...
Yeah, at this rate, PTL is gonna get a last key here, Teddy's gonna get a first key, and then it's gonna be the same thing.
Basically, that's basically what happened. So we'll see.
Not looking good on PTL's side so far.
Yeah, he was able to get the key there, so... Teddy got the key much faster though, so they're gonna be about even here.
Okay, so now we're getting to room 51, which is the point grind floor. So I assume that's why PTL hasn't leveled up yet, because you'll level up here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna kick the shell, and then flip into 3D, so it kills all the enemies, and then that's basically it.
So
PTL got a flim there.
Yeah, he actually bought a Fire Burst and a Ice Storm, I believe. So that's a pretty good flim.
Did I not see a Mighty Tonic there? I guess it's random. I honestly don't know. I feel like no one's really asked that question before.
Yeah, it'd definitely be something interesting to look into, so...
Yeah, because Teddy got that Ice Storm drop, he got ahead into the room.
Ooh, but PTL actually gets really decent luck there, and he's actually gonna enter just before Teddy does. So that's
ridiculous.
That's pretty crazy. And he leveled up as well, so that's
So here's the pig rhythm room. This room is very RNG dependent. If you spawn in the top left and there's a pig and the door is there, you can save like so much time. Because you could just kill the pig, get the key, and then go in the door. So if the door is on the bottom, they save like a lot of time, and fortunately both of them had the door in the good spot. Otherwise they'd have to take a pipe.
Ooh, Teddy gets a decent key there. I think that was a second key from that from that Tyloid. This room could take a while sometimes with all the Spanias, but
yeah, I have a strat where you flip to the bottom, what PTL just did. That one is a really good strat to kill lots of enemies at the same time, but Teddy just got good RNG, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
So here is a very hard room, the Dull Bones and Clubbas. Just basically, if you kill the Clubbas, you can save time because they're faster to kill. But the Dull Bones are so easy to kill, so it kind of just has like a skill gap. I like to bring that up kind of every time here.
It's quite interesting. But okay, Teddy actually leveled up again, so he's at 160k already. PTL's at 130. And that was an okay room for PTL.
Yeah, not too bad.
But they're still gonna be about a room apart, so Teddy's entering the Dark Booze room. So there's a bunch of Dark Boos that will basically fly towards you while in 3D, and you basically can either jump on them or you can use Boomer to kill them. There's a bunch of different strats, but Teddy actually gets a pretty good key there. Ooh, I didn't even see it, but PTL actually got a good key too, so he's in the Dark Booze room now.
This is probably the most back and forth race we've ever had.
Yeah, like the last match that we had went back and forth quite a bit as well, but this has been, I mean, we haven't even gotten to room 60 yet, and it's been like so close back and forth. Both runners just taking the lead back from each other. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like one runner gets like minutes ahead, and then RNG just evens out, so it's kind of funny.
So Teddy is on 58. This is the oh my god, a 455 Amazing Daisy room. That's nuts. That is like, this room can take forever sometimes, and like on top of that, daisies are just annoying to deal with. So
4-second room.
oh my god, that's crazy. So PTL is actually gonna have to use another heal here. He's getting a little low on health.
Yeah, that would be the best call. I agree with that. So here's the Magriblot room. Magriblots spawn on the nearest platform that you're on. So if you just go on a small platform, you can just kill them very easily. PTL didn't really have that great of a room there, but still getting out of it safely, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. So another thing with the Magiblot room, it's obviously better to try to kill the squiglets first, and it worked out for PTL there. They're a little bit faster to kill.
Actually, in the case of Magiblots, if you do the platform strat that I was talking about, if they spawn on the same platform as you, they're very fast to kill, and I actually prefer killing them personally first, so that they don't annoy you when going to kill the squigs.
That is true. So there's a bunch of strategies that can be used for that room, which is
PTL had a pretty good 61 there.
pretty neat. So I think they're about a room apart now. So PTL's...
Oh, I meant Teddy, my bad.
Oh, Teddy did, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all good. So I think PTL is going into 60 currently. I think that's what this is. No, he's in
No, 62,
62.
Yeah, the dark food room.
Okay, so they're in the same room now. So Teddy got an unfortunate key there. It took about 424, but he's out before PTL, so he still has the lead.
So that was the room where you would use the Mighty Tonic, because you could one-shot the Dull Bones and then one-shot the Boos also. You may think, like, that doesn't sound that useful, but then you get it for this Clubba room and Boomerang Bros, and then you also get it for the Tyloids that one-shot, so it's just super useful. Like, if you just think about the chain of rooms that you get to use it in, like, you could see how much time it was saved. Big shoutouts to Teddy for figuring that out, actually. He was the first to use it in his record, actually, and I kind of just learned it from that.
So Teddy actually got another good key there. He's about, I want to say, yeah, he's about 2 rooms ahead now. He's on 65, while PTL's on the Boomerang Bros room. So this, I mean, obviously without a Mighty Tonic, this room can be, or even with a Mighty Tonic, really, this room is tough to do. He's actually going to use a Long Last Shake, PTL is, because he's pretty low, so it's not a bad item. It's a little bit slow to use because of the animation, but it'll refill your health as you go throughout a room. I don't know if he intended to use that or not, I don't know. Yeah, Teddy, I mean, the biggest thing that Teddy has going right now is his points. I mean, he's really, like, far leveled up. And that really brings into, like, the importance of doing these little, like, just like you saw there, like, little point grinds, like, comboing a bunch of enemies in a row. All of that really adds up. I mean, it really added up in that room alone. He's almost at 200k, and he's only in, like, 60... I don't know what room that is, but he's in, like, the mid-60s. So he's at a really good spot right now. So he's in 68. We'll see where PTL is going right now. I think he's going into 66.
65, yeah.
65, okay.
The Gromiba room.
Alright, so Teddy's actually 4 rooms ahead now. Which is kind of crazy. And he just leveled up to...
so fast.
Yeah, he just leveled up to 200k, which is insane.
So here comes the worst segment, in my opinion. Room 70 to 80. It can suck. There's a lot of really annoying enemies.
Ooh, that's a good key for PTL there. So PTL has a decent amount of catching up to do. We'll see how his RNG is.
The ice storm.
Unfortunately, these longinators are not being too kind.
So Teddy is in the room where the door is always in the top left. Unless you spawn in the top left, then it's always in the bottom left. Interesting. The moon cleft from the room he was just in.
Yeah. Alright, so that's a pretty...
PTL not having that great of a section here.
Yeah, this room alone has lost him a lot of time on Teddy, which is unfortunate. He's almost going to be at, like, he's getting really close to 3 minutes on the timer, which is, you know, there's not too many rooms that can happen in, but it's just unfortunate when you get a last key like that.
Yeah, that's, like, the room that especially can happen. So, yeah, Teddy's in the Cursia room, or was in the Cursia room. This room... If you get a last key, it doesn't lose much time, but it's kind of like a slap in the face, I guess.
That is true, yeah.
So here Kopta's, he actually has 200k, so they one-shot, which is crazy. You never have 200k by this point, or at least you rarely do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's only one room that has an Amazing Daisy, and it's like nearly a 1 in 20 chance that it can even be in it, so kinda gotta be very unlucky to get that. So here are Rough Puffs. They're actually really bad to use Boomer on. You kinda just want to duck jump them under a ceiling. Teddy getting a pretty good room there too.
Oh my god, he got another first
really
key.
Looking too good for PTL. Oh
yeah,
no.
He got another first key in that boomboxer room too. He's getting really good rooms here back to back, which is not good for PTL because they're about 6 rooms apart now.
Yeah, 7, like, or nearly 7.
Another first key. I can't believe it, dude. Teddy's having really good luck here.
But yeah, as you can see on PTL's side, the door is on the bottom left because he spawned in the top left. Pretty interesting fact right there. So 78, this room, this room can be annoying when you spawn on the bottom and have to climb up to get the Gromibas, because sometimes they spawn where you think you can just barely reach them, but then they're like too high up and then they troll you, go in other sockets, and then you just lose so much time.
Teddy's just flying through these rooms. It's actually insane.
Yeah, the 200k is helping him so much.
Yeah,
So
getting leveled up early is very, very helpful.
yeah. So, damn, it feels like PTL just entered 70 and now Teddy's leaving 80. So they're still about 7 rooms apart. So what Teddy does here is he kills the Pigarithms in 3D first to kind of get like a free chance, and unfortunately it wasn't in any of them, so you just have to go for the gold Tyloids. But he can one-shot those too! Normally, you don't have this many points. PTL not really having a good 70 to 80 here.
Yeah,
with some bad RNG on the Rough Puffs room.
It's been pretty...
Teddy taking care of the Magi blocks right now. So he just did the strategy where you stand on the platform and face away to get the Magi blocks to spawn behind you. Oh no, that PTL with like the last key.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate room for those Rough Puffs. And he had to heal as well. He's still down to 6.
So here, Teddy is gonna opt to kill the Spanias first before killing the Schlorps, because they take 2 boomer. Like, I don't want to say hits because you can't hit them. They have to like suck a boomer in, and it takes forever. The animation is like nearly 10 seconds, so it's very unfortunate that Teddy didn't get a key there from the Spanias. So Teddy isn't having that great RNG in this section, and PTL is kind of not having great RNG at the moment either, so hopefully something equals out soon.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Teddy with like the last key in the Schlorps room, that could very well be like a 3-second room if you get in the Spanias.
Ooh, Teddy got poisoned as well. It shouldn't be too big of a deal, but it's always unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he has some extra healing items, yeah.
He'll be fine. That's a good key as well from those Dark Boos.
So here's 86. This is very annoying. So there's about a 1/3 chance that you get the key in a Magic Koopa, and if it's in a Magic Koopa, you save a lot of time. If it's in a Koopa Troll, you lose a lot of time. So that's the premise to the room.
So I think he only has 1 Magic Koopa left in this room, and he's unfortunately unable to get to it because of the Koopa Troll's positioning.
Yeah, not a good 80 to 90. I imagine he's probably lost a couple minutes already on top of this, and it looks like PTL might be catching up by the looks of it.
I'll have to do a room check soon. That was a decent key for PTL, but thankfully Teddy was able to get out of that room. He's on 87 currently, and PTL is in 80. So going into 81. We'll see how things turn out. I mean, it's not over, but it would take a lot of bad luck from Teddy to get this close again, because I mean, Teddy just got such a really good, like, 60 to 70 right there, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, he got like an insane 60 to 70, maybe even gold material, and then 70 to 80 was not that great. But then PTL got a horrible 60 to 70, so it kind of just like, yeah, it kind of just put him very far behind.
Yeah.
So here we are introduced to Ninjaries, I believe. I think I saw one there. They're the faster by a little bit versions of Ninjos. And later we'll be introduced to Ninjons, which are the very, very, very obnoxious enemies.
Yeah.
It actually feels like they can be predicted, unlike the Ninjos. I might be wrong, though. I feel like if you move around well, you can kind of kill them pretty easily.
So this is 89. Also, get your eggs out in the chat because we got a big egg drop from Teddy. So cool stuff there. But yeah, that's the use of the shell shock that we picked up in Bestovius' room.
So for PTL to be able to win the race here, he's probably gonna need to have like really good Dark Boo Room, very good Mega Koopa, and then Teddy would have to lose a couple minutes in this final section. It's possible. It's just not that likely, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate when Teddy immediately proceeds to get a first key in 91, so that is,
well, there's two enemies, so it kind of makes sense.
That is true.
So Ninja Room here for Teddy, Poison Pokey, and Dark Boo Room for PTL. So they're still about 6 rooms apart. Teddy, unfortunately, getting a very late key here, but he did handle the room very well. Definitely.
So PTL's on Mega
Koopa and Koopa Troll, yeah.
Koopa Trolls, yeah. He's gonna need to get a really fast key here if he wants a. Oh, he's gonna use a shooting star. That's not a terrible option. The animation takes a little while, but that's a good key for Teddy.
If it gets him out of the room, it could maybe be a good option.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't look like anymore, at least, that anyone will die, because PTL is about to get healed on room 89. Teddy's already healed, so... the reason that you heal is because you use the shell shock and you level up like 3 times.
Yeah. So...
Not really looking that good for PTL, unfortunately, but he could still finish a decent run. Teddy's on like 127 pace, PTL's on like maybe a 131, 130. So Teddy has over 200k points, so he one-shots these Skelebits, which is really cool. No, PTL can't PB anymore. You can't do the last 10 rooms plus a Racktail in less than 5 minutes. You can't do that. I mean, I guess theoretically.
Ooh, that's a good key for PTL though. In that what's it called? I forget the enemies' names, but
something. We'll just call them Grey Goombas.
Yeah.
If I were him, I would have probably took the level up. He's gonna be very low on heals, also, so might not go his way.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So Teddy's going into 97.
Teddy got like a last key on 95, also.
Yeah.
And a first key on 97. Or 96? Yeah,
96 there. Yeah, so it's gonna be difficult for PTL to catch up at this point unless he gets the most insane luck that anyone's ever seen in this game.
But oh no, he might die to the Squiglet, the scary Squiglet.
That is true. You never really know.
I'm kidding. So the only way that Teddy is gonna not be able to finish is if he dies to Racktail somehow. I don't want to say it's impossible, but I believe in Teddy to not do that.
Yeah.
PTL really getting some pretty unfortunate RNG still.
Yeah, it's rough. Teddy just, like, as soon as he got really leveled up, I mean, he was able... I mean, obviously he got a lot of good RNG, but he played really well.
Yeah, Teddy... Yeah, he played very good, and especially when he got bad RNG, he handled it very well. Whereas, unfortunately, PTL didn't handle some of the bad RNG too well.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a skill, like, handling bad RNG in rims. But yeah, GG to Teddy on that one.
Yep, GG's so far. So Teddy is on Racktail. This is basically the Fractail fight, but just a little more difficult. Squiddy saying that he thinks JCR is going to win. He's technically correct because Teddy dedicated the run to JCR, so I count that as a win from my books. think PTL used, it might have been his last heal there, unfortunately.
Yeah, like, it was ridiculous because like Teddy was like 5 rooms behind or something, and then came out like 10 rooms ahead. So like 15 rooms were taken in the span of like 40 rooms. That's insane.
Yeah, Teddy
Like,
had a very good ending there.
he nearly had a 2 times faster second half. Like, that's crazy how much things can change based on like RNG.
Yeah, that's insane. I definitely gonna watch this VOD back and just watch that, like those 10 to 15 rooms that Teddy just got either like first or second keys, really like back to back. It was kind of crazy. So overall, though, I think Teddy is on his last fire burst for this fight. Yeah, he's gonna switch to Peach. So the strat for this fight is similar to Fragtail, except now we have Peach, so we can just float to the antenna instead of having to use throw 10 different times. So Teddy's got that first cycle down. And that does it. So there it is. GG's to Teddy for that. This is going to be a 127, I believe. So that's a really solid run to get at the very end for the grand finale. GG's to him. Teddy becomes the second winner of our pit tournaments. The first pit tournament was won by Mohawk, and Teddy actually played Mohawk in the grand finals but lost. So Teddy sort of...
Since then, there was like 3 minutes of improvement in the world record, which is pretty crazy. And that's without GBS.
That's true. Yeah, GBS hasn't even been implemented in a run yet, so it's going to be exciting to see where this category goes before the next time we do another tournament. So I'm excited to see. But GG's to PTL as well.
Yeah, that was good on his end too. He's gotten like 4 minutes of PBs during this tournament, which is really impressive.
Yeah, that was something. Streamer missing the final split, but it's okay. It's fine. So all right, 127.51 for Teddy. That's a pretty good time for a grand finals match. And PTL did good as well. I'll be honest, like when the tournament started, I knew Teddy was more than likely going to be making a run for grand finals, but I didn't know who was going to be competing against him. And honestly, I gotta say that PTL did a really good job in improving his PB, but Zach as well, you improved your PB a decent amount.
Yeah, it's like a 132.
All throughout.
And then
the
now
tournament.
128.
So good stuff from both of you guys. Just thank you to everyone, really. Thank you to all our participants. Teddy, PTL, Zach, Castle, TLK, and Jack. Really good stuff from everyone. This was a really fun tournament to put on. The second one that we've done so far, and we'll have a highlight reel coming out soon. So, and of course, as honorary...
Sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, as honorary tradition, I was just going to say Teddy's doing Tilt Island, so...
Who knows, maybe by the next tournament we'll be entering the pit by 1-2. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see if by then runners will like consistently have sub 130s because of the new strat. We'll see where it goes. So I'm interested.
Yeah, it looks like PTL is going to be finishing like a 131 or 130. GG to him.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and undo the timer for him so I get a final time for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, again, I gotta thank. I already thank the participants, but also the Restreamers and commentators. So myself, Castle, and PTL, We're all Restreamers, and for our commentary, it was myself, Zach, Teddy, Castle, I believe, and then Buddy Johnson and Squiddy. So thank you all for helping out in any way with this tournament. It definitely wouldn't have been possible without the amount of people that helped all throughout. So I really appreciate it from everyone. Well, you did once, so I'll still thank you for restreaming. Alright, yeah, Teddy's coming, or PTL's coming up on the final split here, so it'll be like a 131 20-ish.
Yeah,
Oh,
GG.
yeah,
It was a really fun tournament. I was happy to be part of it, and I'm excited for hopefully the next one, the threequel, the third one.
part 3. We'll see.
Part 3.
We'll see. And GG PTL. So good stuff from everyone.